A few days ago, I watched Rebel Moon, and I was so impressed by the soundtrack of this film. First of all, the soundtrack is done by Junkie XL. He has done a plethora of films, and I always appreciate his work. So I love when films do this, and I think it helps us as the audience kind of like grab a hold of something. And it's subtle, and I don't think many of us realize it, but it's the music. The thing that was really brilliant was just right out of the gate, the title cards, there was music. It was kind of like a prologue, and that's exactly, when you look in the soundtrack, that's the title of the first track. Second track is called The Wolf That Became a Woman. And this track, oh my gosh, it has a melody line in it that absolutely, I think, draws people into the story emotionally. We get introduced to the main character, and I'll show you here in a bit. It's just so haunting, and it's different. Junkie XL, he uses vocal and guitar. That just kind of sets everything like apart. I listen to plenty of soundtracks, and I love it when a composer uses vocal and guitar in their work. Is not something that many composers do. And the other thing that I love, that I think the audience, whether you realize it or not, is when the composer uses a melody line in one spot and then brings it back in another spot and then brings it back in another spot of the film, of the story. I think that is brilliant. I think it acts as a hook. You literally get hooked on that melody line, and it literally drags you through the story emotionally. And I love that. I love when they do that. The other show that does this really well is Succession. Oh my gosh, Nicholas, the guy who does the music for the show Succession, which is on HBO Max. It's so brilliant. I'm going to show you the melody line that gets introduced in the beginning of the film. So there's vocal here, so brilliant. And then, I don't know if you could hear that, but the guitar comes in. It's just real beautiful, just stunning. So that's the melody line. Okay, so that's the second track of the soundtrack. Okay, so this one is called A Child of War. It's using the same melody line, just differently. So that's the guitar. Voice. It's just, so throughout the film, this melody line is being dragged, just dragging us emotionally through the film. And this is why I love this soundtrack. And honestly, I think us as the audience, like, we can appreciate something like this because it kind of signals an emotional chord in us when we're watching a film, and it helps us become more attached to the character, to the film, to the story, and it's just brilliant. It's honestly like what makes a great score, and what helps the story come alive. And the music part of storytelling is so important, and the audience, a lot of us don't realize this, but hopefully with this video, you get to kind of understand, I've never really realized this, but this is actually something I need to notice more.